Hello, hello, hello. Apologies, I'm a few minutes late. As you may remember, so I'll go this one away. Alan has left me this evening and I have just put three children to bed by myself before 8 o'clock. So I'm classing that as a win, so I'm celebrating with a glass of wine. Cheers, everybody. I'm just going to try and set up so I can see anyone's questions if anyone's coming on. Oh, here I am. If anyone can see me, if you want to put a thumbs up, that'd be awesome. So, how is everybody this evening? Apologies, my light's not as great. Alan is one of the best ones. Hi, everybody, how are you doing? Hi, Donna. Alan's the one who sorts all the lighting, so I've done my best in a short space of time, so I'm hoping it's not too bad today. Hi Charlotte, how are you? I was just saying Alan has left me this evening and I've just put 3 kids to bed by myself before 8 p.m. So little win, glass of vino, cheers everybody. And in homage to Alan, I am wearing one of his hideous shirts. This is kind of hideous material, I'm going to be honest. Not great. Thanks Donna, thanks. I thought I'd make the effort because he's not here. And because he's not here, and obviously Belinda used the potato analogy the other day, I've got myself a butternut squash. This is going to be Alan for this evening. It's kind of like true to life. Thanks Charlotte, yes. So, haven't actually got many questions forwarded my way this week, so if anyone has anything they want to put to me today, feel free to put them in the comments and I'll try and work through them. But what I thought I would do today, I thought I would pick a topic to talk about today, which is quite, not a controversial one, but one that's always a pain point for some people at weddings. And I've been on a few wedding forums this week and it has come up time and time again. So I thought I'd bring up the subject of children at weddings. Kind of relevant because obviously I'm stressed with 3 kids today. And it's Well Book Day tomorrow, so kids are in my brain, and I've been promoting a new party package today, so again kids are kind of in the forefront of my brain. But one of the questions was, on another group, how do you broach the subject of no children at weddings? Now, has anyone had that as a thought process so far? Are you having children at weddings? Are you not having children at your weddings? Let me know now and we can have a bit of conversation about that. Oh, and I do have a child about to wake up. I can hear him going. So apologies if I have to run out and I'll go and get Joseph to come and join in the conversation as well. So, broaching the subject of not having children at weddings. Now, I was one of those brides and we opted. I love children very much. We have a large family. We love kids. We've said we've got nieces and nephews. Hi, Charlotte. We've got to say we're only having children, brother and sister. Yeah, see, I wouldn't be worried. So we had a 0-child wedding, apart from my goddaughter, who was a bridesmaid, Alan's godson, who was a page boy, and Alan's brother's son, who was about 4 months old at the time, and we said that was it for children. I am going to bring this child in actually, sorry, hold that thought. And just like that, that is number one reason, just there, why children at weddings can be banned. Because we didn't want to have our service, and it was a big church service, we didn't want to have a service, have a service where we had children crying throughout the entire service, because our vows were very important to us, and we wanted to be able to hear those without children crying in between. He is sweet, however, he doesn't sleep when he's meant to sleep, so everybody who's not met him yet, this is Joseph. Say hi. We actually did have a couple of, not pain points, but we had a few members of the family, extended family, who were actually quite harsh with us because we weren't inviting all nieces and nephews. But to be quite frank, we had 140 to our day, and that was just adults. If you added, hi Joseph, if you included 2 children per person and that on top. That was quite a lot of people to be having to deal with on site. Hi Will, we only had family, several of my friends about, please. That's it. So we put on our invitations that we were having a child-free wedding, and actually the majority of the response was absolutely hell yeah, fantastic, because having no children at your wedding, although sometimes controversial, does mean that all parents can let their hair down for one night and not have to worry about feeding their children and where are they in the dance floor, and are they going to have a nap time, and are they going to be quiet through the service, and what they're going to do during the speeches. Hi, you're not crying now, are you? You're not crying now? You just want to be on camera. So having that break was amazing, and they were all really welcomed it. What I would say though, if you are on the other camp and you think children should be at your wedding, which again, it's your wedding, you do whatever you want, make sure, especially if you're having an outdoor wedding, that if you're going to have children at your wedding, make provision for those children. Now there are a few things I want to bring up on that. So number 1 is activities. So your comments are coming up on my phone, but not so much on here. I'm hoping that they're going to come through. Charlotte says, wow, yes, our budget won't let us, and like you, I want to be able to hear my vows without interruptions. I've already had my grandma say something, but I want everyone to let their hair down. Yeah, absolutely. Ultimately, it's your wedding day, so you do whatever you want to do. But if you're going to be having a wedding in a field, for example, because that's what we want to talk about, the chances are you're going to be quite remote. If you're going to a wedding at a hotel or a country house, provision would be made there, because there might be bedrooms, there might be hotel rooms nearby, there'd be catering staff on site, all those kind of things that you already think about. But in the middle of a field, things like catering. So make sure that parents who are bringing children, if you're allowing children to come, they have the option of having a children's meal or a smaller meal. They can't buy meals on site. You know, obviously, if you're going to a hotel and you're saying, no, we don't want to pay for a children's meal, just make sure, sorry, it's all going off because Hannah's not here. Usually there's one of us doing a button and one of us doing the talking. You're going to be completely remote. So going to shops sometimes, going to bars and restaurants and ordering separate meals isn't always going to be viable. So make sure you do think of the little people and what they're going to be eating. They don't have to eat the same meal as you guys. Talk to your caterers to see if they can do some sort of child portions or something. Yes, Helen, I do have company. Alan didn't want to come. This is Alan today because he's gone off to see Aunt Middleton in some sort of talk at Salisbury, and I've just heard that it's now snowing in Salisbury, which probably means he's going to be stuck in Salisbury, which is me by myself with this one and 2 upstairs. So hopefully he's going to get back. But yes, activities. Activities are key. Now you could do several things. Either make sure you put loads of fun stuff on the table, so when it comes to speeches that they are completely occupied. Colouring books are always a win. Little party packs. Go down to the pound shop, get loads of cruddy stuff, chuck it in a box. Stickers are a winner. Sticker books are winning. Activities, games, all that kind of stuff are winning. Do that on the table. Or we, as Baylily Bell Tents, we provide things like play tents. There are often other companies that do things like that, where you can get children's entertainers to come for the afternoon. Sometimes on like a mobile creche service, where you put all the kids in one area and give it to someone else to look after for a few hours. And that not only gives you peace of mind that your speech is going to go from all the way through without too much hassle, but also parents can get to do a little bit of this, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm really sorry, I can see stuff popping up on here, but it's really still not coming on here. Who have we got? Oh, Charlotte, thank you. He is quite cute, but could do with him being asleep, really. So yeah, anyone got any thoughts? I'd love to sort of open the floor up to a bit of discussion about what people think about having children at weddings. Anyone having children at their weddings, have you got any good ideas of what you're doing for your day in terms of activities for them, or how you're going to deal with extra noise? Are you having an age ban? Are you having just babes in arms? Because that's always an easy way of getting around it in terms of asking people to not bring small people. It's babes in arms only, because quite frankly, you know, if you're feeding, when I have that same student feeding all the time, sometimes you just need to be close to a small child, but they're quite portable and you can move them quite quickly without any sort of minimum of fuss. Are you having older children only? Are you having 0 children? And honestly, it's completely up to you. I think if you word it in the right way on your invitations and make it very, very clear. And I think that is one of the key things. I've been to a couple of weddings where it hasn't been clear, and that's when it causes sometimes a bit of awkwardness in terms of, do you mean me and my 3 children, or are you just meaning me and maybe the eldest child, or me and nobody else? Can you just make it clear? I think the clearer you are, the most honest and upfront you can be, is the better, really, because it needs to make sure there's no kind of like awkward silences when you meet face to face that next time after they've seen your invitation. And maybe compromise with your family, no kids at the service but welcome at the reception. Yeah, that's a good one. It depends why you're not having them. And to be quite frank, I was quite selfish with mine. As I said, I absolutely love children. I have 3, you know, we do love children. However, we just wanted to make sure that the adult part of the ceremony, although it's a family occasion, was really quite serious, and we really wanted to make sure that we could have that commitment to each other without having to worry about interruptions and having to walk down the aisle to go and sort of help people out and deal with bottles and drinks and all that kind of stuff. Helen, let me see if I can get your... Is it going to come up? Helen, as you know, we're having a really relaxed affair and prepared for whatever goes, really, hoping a campsite will let them run off energy and provide its own entertainment at a certain extent. Absolutely. And that's right. It all completely depends on what your environment is. And yours is very family friendly. Again, you've got children yourself and want to make them part of your day. I think it's as long as you've got stuff for them to do, and if you've got stuff for them to do, or you've got the relaxed nature of going off you go and play, that's fine. But I think the pressure sometimes of parents who are sitting there, like right now, wanting him to make sure he's quiet, can be quite daunting for some parents. And help them out. Just help them. They're going to be going through it. You're going to be going through the fact that you don't want their noise through speeches, but they're going to be going through it knowing that they're the ones causing you the headache during the time as well. So, anyone got any other questions that aren't necessarily children related? Because that is going off on a tangent a little bit, but I'm trying to feel, because no one's got any questions for me today. Maybe Alan is the one that you want to talk to. Wouldn't you have the kids' names on the invitations if they're invited? Yes. Now, that is true. So Dave's just said, wouldn't you have the kids' names on the invitations if they're invited? And yes, you would think that people would read that invitation and say, Alan and Emily, you were invited to XYZ. But some people read that and they just choose to ignore it, and they really do think that that means just family Braithwaite or family Smith or family whatever. So really, I would still put on your invitations a line saying, due to numbers, we are very limited at the venue due to numbers, and unfortunately we're not going to have children at the event, or we'd like you to let your hair down for the day, so we're not going to have children at the event. Put a line in your invitation or your website or when you're talking, just to make it crystal clear, because you will still always get that one person going, so we are invited with XYZ, right? You know that, and you'd be like, and the thing is, if you do it for one friend, it spirals. And one friend will say to the next friend, and the next friend will go, well, why are you letting their kids go? And it will just carry on tumbling. Just make it clear from the start. People understand they're your friends and family, and if they don't like it, they can lump it because it's your big day. Charlotte, I'm worried about filling time up and people being stood around bored. Charlotte, no, you think wedding days go so quickly. So, Charlotte, do you have a specific time of the day you're getting married? Are you getting married earlier, or are you later in the day? Can you let me know what time you're getting married, and you've planned to get married? Is it going to come up? Everybody worries about timelines, and everyone thinks that there's going to be big chunks of time, but actually 3:30, so later, no worries at all. And are you having a sit-down meal, or are you having a very loose sort of schedule of the day? Are you having self-set? Are you having a barbecue, anything like that? Are you having no food? What are you going to be doing for that? So what part of the day are you specifically concerned about standing around? Because trust me, later in the day, you're not going to have any time if you're looking at sort of scheduling in things like, if you're having speeches, if you're having cakes, if you're having photographs. Photographs take up a lot more time than you ever think. Even if you're having more reportage style like photos, you'll always get big chunks of time where they're getting group shots and getting bridesmaids and getting all that kind of stuff. It does go really, really quickly. Sit down meal in the evening meal a bit later. I think that's just the time after the ceremony. So no, the thing is, that time, if you're getting married on site and you're having a ceremony on site and you're having your reception there, or if you're having a ceremony separately and you're going to a separate reception, that time of travelling does take up some time. And if you're not, you've got things like your drinks reception, your canapes, you've got people digesting what's just happened, you're going to have people chatting because they've not seen Great Auntie Flo in 10 years, and they're going to be talking to each other, and then the first lot of drinks will come through. There are like lawn games are always a win, self-serve, like we mentioned this last week, Prosecco bars are great. Anything that's interactive and gets people doing something for that period of time, because it may only just be an hour between that and the time you sit down, because from 3:30 for your ceremony, an hour after your ceremony, you get into 4:30, maybe an hour after you're going to have a sit-down meal. That time will go really, really quickly. I really wouldn't worry too much. But what I might do this week, and it's something I've been talking about, Alan, is doing a little bit of a session on timelining your day and how to get the most out of your day and what to do. So if anyone's interested in that, do let me know in the comments, and we can definitely get that scheduled in within the next week. We've got... Oh, darling. Oh, you're right. Oh, dear me. Helen Day, we just had that conversation upon arrival whilst they're waiting for the blessing yet. Charlotte, that's a good idea. I like the idea of self-serve bars, something they can help themselves to. Yeah, self-serve bars are always for the win, in my opinion, because it gets that level of interaction. Thing like we did mention this very briefly last week on Prosecco bars. Prosecco bars are always really awesome because you can just get a load of bottles out. You can get things like your cordials, you can get your alpha cordials, you get your juices, you get your berries, you get your slices, and you just make it really interactive for people to kind of do their own thing. Same with cocktails, get some really big... Oh my goodness, are you actually trying to choke yourself? Please don't be sick on camera. No one wants to see a sick baby. The big Kilner jars of made up cocktails. What else have we seen? The usual things like sweetie tables. I wouldn't recommend sweetie tables anytime before main meals and that kind of stuff. What else have we seen? One of my favourite weddings, and I think Helen's seen this as well, we did a Chinese wedding 5 years ago now, and they had a really, really big interactive it was a stage tournament of activities, and they had things like tug of war, and they had a tin can alley and all those kind of stuff, and they had 2 teams throughout it, and I know, and they really made that kind of like a big chart. They had a big chart of who was winning what and which teams are doing things, and they just kind of made that the fun part of the day. And again, getting team games and interacting like that is always a good one as well. Yes, please, Dave, if you have anything to say, please do chip in. Thanks, Charlotte. Yeah, so there's stuff you can do. If you get things like food carts coming in, I knew my battery was going to go. Food carts coming in, or ice cream vans, those kind of things are always awesome because they take a big chunk of time, and it's the photo opportunity. People think you think, oh, I've got to fill 2 hours, but actually people are getting their cameras out and they're snapping and they're still chatting, and then they've got photo booths and all those kind of amazing things you have at most weddings. They do take a lot of time. Dave, come on, say something to us. What do you want to say? Joseph, what do you want to say? Anything? Anything at all? Right. Well, unless anyone's got anything they want to say today, feel free to carry on having a conversation after this. I am going to go because someone needs to go to sleep, really. But yeah, have a think about children at your weddings, because they're lovely, and if you want them there, fabulous. Just make sure you think about how you're going to look after them, especially if you're in a remote area, because they do need things like sleep occasionally, and they do need things like feeding occasionally, and they do need changing facilities occasionally. So if you are completely remote in the middle of nowhere with just a canopy in the middle of nowhere, think about what you're going to do. Right, on that note, I'm going to disappear for this evening. I promise next week will be a bit more cheery, and I'm hoping all 3 kids will be asleep next week. And now that's not appropriate. Thanks. It's kind of in my lap now. It's a bit warm. This one will be back next week. I'm sure he'll bring a bit more life to the party than I have this evening. I am going to... Oh, David, he was... Self-service bars can be tricky, but they can be well managed, Dave. I've been to lots of weddings where they can be well managed, and provided that's not your only bar for the entire day, I think, actually, no. I think for your evening bar, absolutely, definitely get staff on board. We learnt the hard way with ours, and it became a little bit loud and a bit wild and a little bit over the top. But I think for cocktail hours and canapé drinks and things like that, I think you can do it in a really easy way, a simple way, before everyone gets too much. I would say that after your meal, when you've had a sit down, everyone's had table wine, things like that, that's the point when I would say get a bar company in, or if you're doing your own bar and buying your own alcohol that way, get bar staff in or designated people in, because that's when you get a little bit of silliness sometimes. People start to put drinks down, don't know their measures and all that kind of stuff. But I think DIY bars have their place at any event, provided you do it properly. But I said earlier in the day, have that, and then switch out to your after meal bar to have a bit more sense. Right, on that note, I'm going to go. Joseph, will you say goodbye? Will you say goodbye? That's what we're getting. Right, speak soon, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.